Good afternoon. I would like to call to order the regular meeting of the Pflugerville City Council, December 9th at 7 p.m. I would welcome you to join us for the pledge and a moment of silence. If you'll please stand. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible. You may be seated. Our next item is public comment. In accordance with the Texas Attorney General's opinion, public comment that is made on an item that is not on the published final agenda will only be heard by City Council. No formal action, discussion, deliberation, or comment will be made by the City Council. Each person providing public comment will be limited to 3 minutes. Tonight I have Mimi Stiles.
Good evening, Council. My name is Mimi Stiles. I'm founder and president of Measure, chairwoman of the HBCU AI Conference, and also vice president of Responsible and Ethical AI at Austin AI Alliance, and also a wife of a U.S. veteran. I'm also here with full heart and firm conviction. I am addressing you about the consent agenda, ordinance 0860. And tonight, I want to just call attention to our leaders here, that you're being asked in this moment about what you will decide, not someday and not in theory, but right now. And right now, in the midst of a political storm, when the winds are high and the pressure is relentless, it's more than important in this moment right now for our leaders to stand with more clarity and also conviction and also courage. And I understand the legal implications that you're navigating. Even though it's not said, I know them, and I get it. I understand the strain created by a diabolical national administration that's working overtime to undo civil rights that our ancestors have fought so hard to do. But that's exactly why in this moment, it matters so much. When injustice grows louder, our integrity must grow louder too. Everyone knows, if they know me, they know that I am a visionary by nature, and I live in the future. But lately, God has actually called me to be a woman of this minute, a woman of this day, a woman of this hour, and a woman of this decision. I even left my little one, who's not feeling good today, to be here. And my conviction, it actually tells me that this is one of those defining moments that we will remember. For those of you that work so hard with myself and with other people to dream of this commission, of the Equity Commission, it was a lot of work. A lot of time spent to do that work alongside each one of you. And to very quickly put it on a consent agenda. And I understand there has been conversation, and even the committee is interested in changing or dismantling it from a commission into an advisory board. Placing it on that consent agenda actually risks signaling that equity is administrative. It's the soul of the city that is on the decision, is in this decision today. It's our moral compass to delay. Just a delay, so that we can actually have time to sit and have spaciousness. Each and every one of these leaders to have spaciousness to think about it.
Thank you, Mimi.
Thank you, Mayor.
Our next speaker is Joseph Brown.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Joseph Brown. I live in the Greenridge community off of Gaddiscoe Road in Redbud, and tucked in the corner over there. There's a very serious safety issue, and it pertains to three cities. It pertains to Pflugerville, Hutto, and Round Rock. At the corner of the intersection of Cheyenne Valley and Gaddiscoe Road, there's just a stop sign. With the traffic that flows through our community there on Cheyenne Valley off of Redbud going into Cheyenne, there's an extreme amount of traffic from three cities coming through that one little road. It backs up traffic. People are stressed at being at work all day. They're stressed from being on 45 in that traffic. They're stressed from being on 130 the traffic. And they're stressing out our entire community with that traffic. People can't go to their mailboxes safely to retrieve their mail after a long day of hard work because the traffic is dangerous. And it's going to come to the point where somebody's going to be seriously hurt down there because it needs to be better traffic control. That's all it needs, traffic control. Now, well, I understand that's supposed to be Travis County, but I think we have people that here that can talk to people in Travis County. They can talk to people in Hutto. Come to a conclusion to come and work together as three cities to protect our community, to keep everybody safe. On Cheyenne Valley is also numerous bus stops for our children to come through there. And you have cars coming through there 50, 60 miles an hour. They don't care. They're just trying to get home. And I know everybody who drives sees this every day. You're driving down the road and say, what's wrong with that person over there? Because they're distracted on their cell phones, turning music up, whatever. And that's a small road coming through there. There's not a lot of room. So I wish and hope that we can get this solved before something catastrophic happens. Because in that area, right there off of 45, to come off of 45 onto a Heatherwild, there's I don't know how many accidents a week there. How many times have the poles been knocked down? It's the lights. They're always there. I saw a bumper the other day. So man, it was just an accident here the other day. I saw a car getting towed away. Then you have Redbud and Winding. I've seen cars overturned right there. And the speed limit there is only 35 miles an hour. 30, something like that, and cars are overturned. So it's a major traffic issue. It needs to be under better control for safety of the community, especially kids have to come on off the bus stops to get home safely. And along that lines, to go with that safety, we just had our roads redone with the black tar. I'm not a big fan of that tar. It doesn't look very well. It doesn't look good, upkeep to me. But when they did it, the guys were out there working hard. It's in the middle of summer. It was like 110 degrees. Them guys out there spraying that tar. I felt so sorry for them. I would give them drinks all the time. But they made mistakes. They covered numerous crosswalks. The ones that didn't cover it, they covered half. So again, these are our children have to use these crosswalks to get safely back and forth to home after they get off the bus. These crosswalks need to be repainted with bright, glow-in-the-dark paint so it could be seen at nighttime. Right now, you go through our neighborhood, you can't see the crosswalks. Most of them are gone. So hopefully there is a plan. I don't know. Y'all might have this on the budget and the plan does happen. I don't know. It's my first time coming up here. If there is a plan for it to get done, I'd like to know when it's going to be done. If it's not a plan, when will it be done? And hopefully, if y'all hear my plea, it can be done.
Thank you, Mr. Brown. Appreciate it.
Madam City Manager, the intersection that he's talking about, is that in the city of Pflugerville, or is that actually in unincorporated Travis County, or is that in Williamson?
It's not in this
County?
city, but we're taking notes, and we have staff here that will happily talk to you, and we'll make calls as we can this week.
That sounds great. Thank you.
All right. Anybody else here wishing to make public comment? Last chance. All right. Thank you. Our next item is consent agenda, and I know council's wishing to pull items.
Anyone want
Would you like me to start?
Please.
All right. I'd like to pull 4G, 4H, 4J, 4K, and 4L.
4G, 4H, 4J.
4K and 4L.
And I'd like to pull 4E and 4F and 4A.
Okay, Krista.
Just 1 second.
2, 4, 5, 6, 7. So you're off by 1.
I said 7.
You said 7 or 8.
I was using 7 or 8.
Technically. Okay.
John was laughing too much.
I have items 4A, 4E, 4F, 4G, 4H, 4J, 4K, and 4L pulled from the consent agenda. 4B is approving an ordinance on second reading with the caption reading an ordinance amending and updating the City of Pflugerville Code of Ordinances, Title 9, General Regulations, Chapter 95, Parks and Recreation, Article 2, Parks and Recreation Commission, Section 92.23, providing cumulative repealer and severability clauses, providing an open meeting and establishing an effective date. 4C is approving an ordinance on second reading with the caption reading an ordinance of the City of Pflugerville, Texas, granting the use of a portion of city property by easement and right-of-way out of the Caldwell West Survey Number 66 and located at 16430 Cameron Road in Travis County, Texas, being a portion of said 161.9175 acre tract of land described in warranty deed to the City of Pflugerville, Texas, recorded document number 2015165200 of the real property records of Travis County, Texas, providing cumulative repealer and severability clauses, providing for open meeting and establishing an effective date. Again, items 4A, E, F, G, H, J, K, and L have been removed from the consent agenda. All remaining items may be acted upon in a single motion.
I move to approve the consent agenda.
Did you say 4I too?
I did
No.
not have 4I.
No. I mean, it's on. It's part of the.
Correct. 4I is still part of the consent agenda.
Excellent. Okay. Good deal. God bless you.
All right, motion carried. We immediately move to item 6 to discuss and consider action on items pulled from the consent agenda.
So
I'm getting there.
we're starting with 4A.
So I appreciate I pulled it because I appreciate the citizen comments that we just heard. And so if we could get some information about a summary of why we're making this change so that it's more transparency to the public for the reason.
I was just going to ask if can we just unless there's something that's necessary, can we just put this off to our next meeting?
If I can real quick read the caption and then get into. So item 4A is approving an ordinance on second reading with the caption reading an ordinance of the City of Pflugerville, Texas, amending the City of Pflugerville Code of Ordinances, Title 3, Administration, Chapter 31, Departments, Boards and Commissions to amend sections 31.61, 31.62, 31.63 to transition the Equity Commission to an Equity Advisory Board, to amend section 31.66 to amend board meeting requirements, to amend section 31.76, to amend duties of the board, and to amend sections 31.65 for consistency, providing that this ordinance shall be cumulative and repealing all ordinances in conflict, providing for severability, and declaring an effective date.
Okay. My rationale is that I'm sure there's going to be a lot of conversation about this. Unless there's something pressing, I'd rather just put this into our next agenda or our next meeting.
You do have appointments at the next meeting, so at.
The
I'm
January
sorry.
meeting, you mean?
I'm
In
so-
January?
Because you have appointments December 16th, just letting you know.
Yeah,
that
but
might-
but remember we also did that before.
It's fine,
with
I'm just making sure
Yeah.
y'all know there's.
Yeah.
So a
Yeah.
January meeting?
Yeah.
Is that a motion?
Yeah.
Second.
Yeah.
Motion and second. To postpone, or whatever.
So the reason is to allow other people to come and
Yeah.
speak on it?
Let's just for us to have. I have a feeling it's going to be a
Okay.
much longer debate, so let's just. We'll have time to talk about it because I agree with you. Like, let's have a conversation about what's going on.
Okay. Motion carried.
Ford.
The next item is 4E, approving a professional services supplemental agreement with ESP Associates, Inc. in the amount of $184,537.32 for professional engineering services associated with Kelly Lane Phase 3 roadway project, and authorizing the city manager to execute the same.
Questions?
Yes, I submitted some questions in advance, and so just wanted a chance to have some clarity on those questions.
Is there anything in?
Who is it? Oh, I didn't see him.
Oh, sure.
It's okay. There were questions that were provided. Do you want to ask those?
Yeah, so in the summary, it had explained that the change order was partly due to the addition of illumination design that was not previously included before, and so I wanted to just get clarity on what is illumination design and the reason it wasn't included before and is added now. And then my other question was, for comparison and context, what other road projects include the illumination design?
As you all know, this is part 3 of the Kelly Lane project. It's just street lighting. The one that goes in the middle or the sides, I'm not sure which one it's in this case, but it's just street lighting. That's all it is. It's just the poles that you see out there that Encore does for the city. That's all it is. It continues the lighting that we have on the other project.
Okay.
So it's consistent with the applicable
Yes.
lighting that we've already established as the standard on Kelly Lane, just moving forward for that.
Any project we do will have lighting on it. It's the same thing we ask for developers, so we have to have lighting.
And the reason why it wasn't included previously?
Not sure about that one.
It's probably something where, I mean, let's be honest. Kelly Lane's been a long project, a long time in the making. I think all of us are very excited to finally get to phase 3 on this. So I'm guessing that just might have been an oversight that was missed over there with that.
But we want to make sure we included it before
Excellent.
not change order into a project.
Sounds great.
Okay,
So yeah, okay, I guess illumination design is a fancy word for street lights. Okay. Okay. Yeah, I thought maybe there was a change in our standards and why it wasn't included before.
Cool.
Okay.
so these street lights are not going to be any different from the ones that are already
No,
on
the
Kelly Lane.
continuation.
We're
They're
just-
typical lights.
We're just adding them down. We haven't said, oh, now we want to have 10-foot tall lights and have a new iron cage around them or something
No,
like
it's
that.
the same standards we were using before.
Okay.
Mayor, would you?
I know we do periodically change our light designs, but.
Just
Okay.
one other thing.
Sure.
There was a variance in the summary for the dollar amount versus the contract. So just wanted to verify, is the amount in the contract, it said 3.34 million in the contract, but the summary said 3.298 million. So I just wanted to make sure that the contract is the one that is.
Yeah, the contract amount, let me get that, okay. The one that's correct is, sorry about that. The total amount of the contract right now is, that was in the total was on the PSSA. Here it is, 3.339 million. Yes.
Okay, just wanted to be sure.
Right.
And that variance is the cost of illumination design? Or is it?
Includes it, yes.
No, but I'm wondering why is that, what accounts for the variance between that and the summary? Do you know?
I'm not sure where the other number came from.
Okay. All right, move to approve.
Second.
Motion is second to approve item 4, whatever that was.
4E.
E is in ESP.
Motion carried.
Next item is 4F, approving a construction contract with Elecnor Belco Electric, Inc. in the amount of $1,344,888 associated with the traffic signal system improvement implementation, transportation alternative set aside, ADA project, and authorizing the city manager to execute the same.
Is there a question or?
Yeah, I submitted questions in advance. And because I wanted to be clear on the project cost, because there was some differences in the page 87 where it said there was 665,000 was the local cost for the city. But when I looked at the CIP, it was 1.688 million for the project. So I was just wondering if this is the only contract that's under this project or if there is more to come. And then also in the summary, it listed a number of things that we've spent to date. And I got a total of 727, which is more than what the estimate in the contract says. So I just wanted to understand what is our share for this project?
Okay. Well, first I apologize. I didn't introduce myself. My name is Danny McGee. My title is Assistant Director for Traffic and Transportation. This project is when we approached it before, we had to give two payments to TxDOT. As of right now, aside from the money we spent on our consultants, that's the reason you'll see this disparity. We have with TxDOT a contract where they're going to reimburse us for the construction. But at the same time, we are responsible for the design. So right now, all we're trying to get is approval to move forward with the awarding the construction contract, which we got a very, very good bid from a contractor. Our design consultant had estimated this project to be closer to $2 million, and we came out to about $1.3 million. So that lowers our match because we're responsible for 20%. The feds will pay 80%, and we're paying 20%.
So the local match is 20%.
Yes.
And the reason why there's a difference between the numbers is given the fact that you got an extremely good bid, which allowed for it to have a deviance from that, and subsequently because of that, that's why it's less.
But the money we spent so far is, we said we spent I think it's like $71,000 total. We had to get TxDOT for their participation, but aside from that, we had to pay our consultant for the design.
Because we're in charge of the consulting
Right.
fees.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So is the 636 in this contract?
It will go down.
Okay, but is that construction only, and then so it's that plus the design, or does that inclusive of the design?
Okay. Can I give you a general overview of the project?
Sure.
Okay. So in the award that we got from TxDOT, the feds were going to put up almost $3 million. Okay. 20% was our match, and then on top of that, we had to pay TxDOT for their participation, what they're paying. So it came out to about $3.4 million total that the contract was going to be. However, because the construction costs came in a lot lower, our participation is going to be a lot less. So I calculated, just hopefully it's right with TxDOT, but our piece is going to go down to about $300,000 from that $600,000 that's on the advanced agreement with TxDOT.
Okay.
So that will go down. But we still have the money we paid our consultant on top of that.
Okay, so it's what we've paid so far plus this 20% of this contract.
Yeah.
Okay.
Great job.
Do you have a sense for why this bid was so much lower than anticipated?
They love our city.
Actually, I was a little nervous
the
about
range?
that. It was quite a bit lower than everybody else's. And so we had very good discussions with the contractor, looked at their history, and the fact is they're from California. They're trying to break into basically our market down here. And
So they're bidding low in an effort to establish a presence in a place that they aren't already doing business.
We checked their references, we talked to them, we had a meeting with them, we talked to the owner of the company, and everything's copacetic, and we think we're going to get a very good contract out.
And because they're trying to break in and they want to show us as one of their models they can get
Yes.
references from, they're likely to do even more of an exceptional job with that.
They've been in Texas for 3.5 years or so, but just haven't come as far as Pflugerville, but they do want to work.
In North Texas mostly?
No, they're out of Austin mostly, but
Okay.
they've been sticking to that area. So they're trying to reach out from there.
Just Austin in particular.
All right.
Excellent.
Move to approve.
Second.
Motion and second to approve.
Excellent job, staff.
Motion carried.
Next item is 4G, approving a professional services agreement with Lakeside Mud Number 5 for professional operations and maintenance services associated with the water and wastewater operations for the district, and authorizing the city manager to execute the same.
I'm smiling because I think James brought this up that this would happen at some point, but go ahead.
Yeah. I used to be a mud lawyer, so this sort of thing didn't surprise me very much. But I thought to myself, there are not very many people in the general public who have that experience. And I thought it would be useful to have an explanation for the public of why we are providing professional services for a mud, how standard that is, and how we put this together.
Okay. Jeff, you want to take a stab at that?
Certainly will. Thank you all.
Thank you, Joe.
Jeff Dunsworth, Assistant Utility Director, City Engineer. Yeah, the mud districts are somewhat unique here in Pflugerville. We have a total of 8 that we actually collect wastewater, treat. Lakeside number 5 is unique. It's the only one that we actually have professional services for. That's contracts to install, repair, service, leak repair. We also inspect every day. Our inspectors make routes, or servicemen make routes, and late night calls. We take care of that. We get compensated. The city gets compensated based on a rate. This was developed 3 years ago. This contract. I was not privileged to all the intricate parts of the development, but it does expire, I think, at the end of our mid-January. That is essentially why this is before you tonight, to extend it. Without extending it, they will not have anyone providing service to their community. They will be scrambling to find a wastewater service provider. Water is provided to them through Manville, but we're compensated based on a meter and also based on the rates, our cost. Those can be adjusted with notice to the district. Then they'll have the vote of either approving the adjustment, or they will have to find another provider. Currently, there are 305 connections within Lakeside Mud number 5. They're projecting a growth of about 105 connections a year, with a maximum build out of approximately 3,300. So there's still substantial growth left in the community, and hope that we will be able to continue our service with them. I think it's been good for both parties. We can do an audit, or we're allowed to do an audit every year to evaluate what our overall expenses have been and to make sure we're on the positive side or the break-even side. This is not necessarily a revenue generating opportunity. This is kind of a goodwill, good neighbor. It's being good stewards of the environment, making sure that the water infrastructure, and certainly the wastewater infrastructure that has the most liability, is in good condition and operating properly. And it's all treated at our wastewater plant, so we might as well make sure it stays in the pipe in the right location until it gets to our plant.
So let's be clear. One of the reasons why we have this agreement in place with Lakeside Mud 5 is given the fact that they've seen our expertise, they've seen our knowledge, they've seen our ability to service the applicable areas, and it's first rate, and it's one of the highest ones, not only in the region but across the state. Additionally speaking, given the fact that, as you said, we have a pecuniary interest in our wastewater treatment plant and our wastewater services, we would love to make sure that whenever we're servicing folks from there as well, these pipes, these information, the actual industrialization of these aspects are kept at a level that will continue to make sure that our services that are being rendered not only there, but across in the city and areas across our, likely, let's be honest, our wastewater CCN in the future are done in a professional fashion. So we're doing this not only because they ask for us and they see what level of care we can provide, but also because we want to make sure for our citizens and our folks across the region, we continue to be a first-rate provider of wastewater services. Is that right?
Thank you. Well put.
Okay.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
Meeting the witness. Jeff, I know you emphasized, but I want to make sure that the people out here understand. The citizens of Pflugerville with their tax dollars are not subsidizing this. This is a break-even or very small profit for the city for doing this. It's not something that our taxpayers are subsidizing people outside of the city doing. Is that correct?
That is correct, sir. Thank
Okay.
you for clarifying that. Appreciate that.
That's great.
And I want to again clarify for the 5 people watching and the dozens of people here. This Lakeside Mud is not in the city, but it is adjacent to the city.
Right.
It's possible that someday they might be annexed into the city if they voluntarily request to be annexed, but we can't annex them unilaterally at this time, right?
Correct.
Okay. Unless the legislature decides to rearrange that authority.
So
Okay.
I had provided some questions in advance. Do we have the information about like the current revenue that was provided under this contract in the past year, and what kind of increase or change are we looking at with this new contract?
My apologies, I do not have that information. We've been working diligently with utility billing, trying to collect as much information we have. We can get that information. We will see this thoroughly vetted and provide it to you at a later date.
So that's something that you can get to us at a later date and
Yes.
provide in our Friday updates. Cool.
So, but obviously, as they grow from 305 to 3,300, that revenue will grow as well.
Correct.
But the projection is that it
But it will
will
be, I mean, it will, yeah. break
continue
even.
to be a break-even operation, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay,
We will not lose money on this venture.
okay. But we're not gonna get fat and rich on it either.
No, but we're not going to lose money in the process.
And we're not subsidizing people outside of our city. Mayor, would you entertain a motion?
Please.
Motion to approve.
Second,
I was going to say 4G.
somebody beat me to it.
But then,
Nicely done.
Thank you all.
and I just realized it's 4G. Haha, that's funny.
And motion carried.
Next item is 4H, approving a professional services agreement with Bridge Farmer and Associates, Inc. in the amount of $949,870.63 for professional engineering services associated with Pfennig Lane Extension, East Pecan to Wells Branch Parkway project, and authorizing the city manager to execute the same.
All right. Oh, do you look familiar? All right, so this is a chunk of change, almost $1 million. So tell us how far the Pfennig Lane extension here goes, why we need it now.
Okay, this project is one that we call a relief project. We're working on a study with FM 685 for the potential growth and widening, and that's still a few years off. We're working on that study. Meanwhile, we're looking at ways to relieve during construction and also the traffic right now, and this is one of those routes. It's this one will take off from the intersection. Right now, it's a three-legged intersection where the Amazon is. Pfennig ties in right there. This will go straight south and tie it into a stub out already for Pfennig, just a little bit north of Wells Branch. It's about just a little bit over more than 7/10 of a mile.
How awesome is that?
Sorry?
I said, how awesome is that? Like,
I'm very excited about
big
this
deal.
project. Very excited.
Do we have a map that shows where this is?
I've got one here. I can pass it on to you, but I don't have it prepared for it.
What Trish's on
He's
it?
an attorney. He
Can I give it to you?
Hold on just one second.
Trish will get it.
has to see a visual.
I'm just hearing those words and where is that?
Look at that. I mean,
Okay.
you know how big of a deal that is?
Okay, so that goes across that open farmland there.
Thank goodness.
So, I had a question on this, that I provided in advance, about what are the current or existing developments that will be using this roadway? And then also, I see several other, street projects that are on our CIP for this year that in my opinion, from driving, I feel like they're a higher priority. So I'm just wondering where this falls in our priority of when, things like the Pfennig Lane from 685 to Pecan, or the old Austin Hutto Road, or even Schultz, which is a safety concern. I'm just wondering why this is coming forward first before some of those other ones that I feel like possibly more people would be impacted on the road relief.
Well, like I mentioned earlier, FM 685 is our highest priority. And we're trying to get that done and divide that into pieces and see which projects we can get out faster. Meanwhile, we call these projects greenfield projects. Basically, they're undeveloped land, virgin territory. They'll be a lot easier, a lot faster to design.
So part, just to be clear, it's to your point. You're saying, well, wait a minute, how come they're getting done this quickly? It's because the barriers and the issues that we usually have and concerns regarding right-of-way, regarding utilities and the other aspects don't exist here. And consequently, we can still make a demonstrative impact. Because, as somebody who has to drive down that, this is huge. Like, this makes a big difference over there as well. And it's not saying that the other ones, because we do a ranking, which will probably come up again probably before April. Yeah, we normally do. We do a ranking of the roads.
Okay, I haven't seen a ranking.
Yeah, we
for
do.
us.
We all get together and we start talking about the priorities.
We'll
and-
talk about it at the
Yeah,
retreat, I'm sure.
exactly. Yeah, about our the roadways and everything else in there. But this is for a better lack of term, low hanging fruit. And it's going to make a demonstrative impact. So it's the best use and best leverage of what we can do right now to make a difference.
Okay, so then just specifically, why is this section south of Pecan a higher priority than the Fennig section north of Pecan to 685?
Actually, I'll probably be here again in a month or so. We're negotiating right now there's two pieces. I call that like the north west quadrant where Amazon is, where Fennig comes down and touches into where this project is taking on. That'll be one project, and the other one is on Old Austin Highway Road. There's a small roundabout that will go north up to Pflugerville Parkway.
Oh, that's going to be awesome.
So this one
those two projects we're combining to get it faster with just one consultant. We had them as two different projects, but we're going to do it because they were going to be crossing over each other, and so we'll just have one guy take care of it.
Awesome.
Okay, and then the other question I had was in our revised CIP, the budget, or the amount in here was 600,000. So this is coming in over 50% more. What was the reason for the increase?
600,000.
Yeah, in the fiscal 26 budget, it was 600,000 for this project, TR 2906, in design.
Okay, I guess I don't know the number because this project has like almost $20 million budget.
Well, that was supposed to be budgeted
Yeah.
to be spent this year.
Oh, I'm sorry.
So I don't have any details of what that 600 is. We just have the summary.
Well, I guess going back to about the low hanging fruit, if we approve this tonight, we expect to have the design done in a year or just under that. And then, being that there's no live traffic, we believe we can get this whole project on the ground within 2 years, design to construction. So that gives us this year for the design, and then the construction should take about another year.
Okay.
I'm not sure I answered your question, but
One other question. I noticed this doesn't butt up against Gatlinburg, and there are obviously a number of streets on the east side of Gatlinburg that are stubbed out there. Is there anything in this planning process that is going to affect that? Are we waiting for that undeveloped area south of Pecan to subdivide and for them to
Get developed.
do the developer then to attach to these stubs in the
I
Gatlinburg?
don't know the history with regard to more development. We're doing this right now for relief to the what we have on FM 685.
Okay.
It's being looked at that way, almost like a parallel route.
All right. So you're thinking about this as a pass through, not as a
Undoubtedly,
as an elevator
since
for development.
yeah, I'm sorry to interrupt, but undoubtedly, since there's fallow land there, undeveloped land, I mean, if you put a road in, it'll start.
If you
Right.
build it, they will come.
Yes.
Mayor, would you entertain a motion?
I did have one more question.
Sure.
Okay, so the last CIP report that I have says this entire project is going to be 19.4 million. Is that just for this 0.71 miles?
That's what was put into the CIP. We re-scoped this project. We had a better estimate done with better numbers of the ones we've gotten on recent projects. We believe this project should come in construction-wise $11-12 million, and we're negotiating with consultants based now on a percentage of the construction costs. In the past, we were doing what's called time and materials, and it was hard to budget the money that way. So now we're doing lump sum. We're just agreeing on lump sum based on percentages, and that's all they're going to get. Unless something really, really changes, we'll come back and say, well, that was unexpected, or we're asking for more. But that's something we're doing now. So to answer your question in a very long way, but the budget that was $20 million, 19, will be a lot lower.
Okay.
The one I don't have a good handle on is going to be the right of way. That's going to be.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I was just wondering the cost per mile that we're not looking at.
Yeah.
Because if it's less than a mile and we're spending 19 million, that's a
Yeah,
lot.
we just like a project we came to you not too long ago was the East Pflugerville Parkway, the one that goes just east of Weiss. The bid on that came in a lot lower. So we're getting, in talking to some of the construction companies around, there's a lot of things that have lowered, and so it's being reflected in the prices we're getting.
Okay.
Do you understand why we're getting that change in the market condition?
They're giving me stories like things that happened in COVID that went up way high
Right,
back then,
right.
and they're finally working themselves down.
What, we're
And-
getting a
yes.
decrease?
Good. Wait, so
I don't know.
that's
Yeah,
deflation?
okay. In that case, quit asking questions.
Yeah.
Motion to approve for but change their minds.
And a motion and a second.
Lock them in.
I apologize. Who seconded that motion?
Caesar. Motion carried.
Next item is 4J, approving a resolution with a caption reading resolution directing publication of notice of intention to issue $52,995,000 in combination tax and surplus revenue certificates of obligation to provide funds for waterworks and sewer system improvements, specifically the secondary Colorado River raw water line project, and resolving other matters related to the subject.
I'd like a general presentation before we push forward with $53 million.
Good evening. I don't have a presentation, but I can answer any questions you have. I think I put in the summary that we had applied for this funding source over a year ago. This is the last piece of the funding for this particular project, and it will complete.
All right, so this is the big raw water line project that we've been working on forever. This is probably the biggest water project in the history of Pflugerville.
Yep.
So is this the last issuance of certificates of obligation on this, or are we going to have more?
This is the last piece of the funding.
This is the last piece. Okay. And how soon do we expect to be able to expend this $53 million? Is that going to take us 5 years, 3 years?
Well, so this project is already under construction.
Yeah.
Right.
So, I mean, Jeff might be able to answer the length of the project, but we're basically timing this. About the time we close on these funds, we will need them.
Okay.
So we
All right.
will not be holding on to them.
I just don't want to have this money sitting around and be
These
paying
contracts
interest
have
on
already
it.
been bid. They're under construction.
Okay.
That's awesome, especially for the second line. That's a
All right.
huge deal.
Jeff, can you tell us a little bit about when we're going to get this completely up and running? I'm sorry, Mr. Dunham.
Thank you. Once again, Jeff Dunsworth, Assistant Utility Director.
I'm sorry.
We essentially on the secondary Colorado River raw water line, we have 3 contracts currently underway. We had a early procurement contract, which has been completed. At least the equipment's been purchased and transferred. Contract's been transferred to the contractor. We're looking at startup in May-June era. We're currently the one that's contract that's actually closest to us, the one that's in our jurisdiction. The majority of it's in the city of Pflugerville jurisdiction. We're 73% complete, with about 68% of the contract period elapsed. On the pipeline that's within the city of Austin, the one that's probably the longer section, the most problematic, it's just numerous streets, numerous casings, numerous environmental, numerous creeks. It's approximately 51% complete, with 68% of the contract period concluded. Contractor got a late start as far as procuring the pipe, but once the pipe is, they put multiple crews on to finish the work. We currently have a contractor underway at the raw water pump station. They've had some minor snags at startup. It's the time lapse 80. They're about 24% complete. They're looking at startup. They're going to start up 3 of the 4 pumps in March. We will be able to function adequately on 3 pumps. Then they'll be able to follow up and complete in the next couple of months.
Wow. So then after that, we can operate adequately into 3 pumps, and then after that, for redundancy purposes, we can have that 4th pump ready to go
Correct.
several months after that. And that percentage, from what you're telling me too as well, says that they made up a lot of time necessary to make sure they get this project delivered in a timely fashion.
Now, that pump you were talking about, is that the one down at Lake Travis, or is that the one?
No, we don't
At
have
our
any
end.
facilities within Lake Travis.
Okay.
This is on the lower Colorado River on Shelton Drive. It's, I guess it's kind of north of the airport and east side of east side Austin, right
Okay.
on the Colorado River, on the north side of the Colorado River.
I'm sorry, I misspoke. Obviously, Lake Travis is part of the Colorado, but not that part. Okay, so that 24% is the part there at on the Colorado River.
Yes, on that pump, the raw water pump station.
And what do you have any concerns about them being, since we're over 70,
I'm an
67%
engineer,
of the
I'm
time?
always concerned. We try to come up with Plan B, Plan C to make sure. But we will be able to, the system, what is unique is we haven't taken the system offline. It's been able to operate continuously while we're making the improvements. We're making not necessarily piecemeal improvements, but we're making improvements that are advantageous to the contractor. We had a temporary shutdown, which lowered the water level in the lake for a couple weeks. The contractor was able to make some provisionary measures that will help expedite the next shutdown when they start installing pumps and motors. Expect the contract will jump in percent complete as they're taking delivery of the large item valves, pumps, motors. 38-inch or 42-inch valves, very costly. It's a monster to see. It's pretty impressive. This is a unique project. I tell all my young EITs that welcome the city of Pflugerville. Said if you're fortunate as an engineer, you may get the chance to see one huge multi-million-dollar project in your career. We have 3 of them underway. We have a water treatment plant expansion, a new and a greenfield. We also, wastewater treatment plant, new wastewater treatment plant. We have a water treatment plant expansion, and we have a 15-mile large diameter pipeline. These are unique, just once in a career that you get to see opportunities like this. And it's really a great opportunity for the city of Pflugerville.
That tells you about the amount of growth that we're experiencing and the reality of us trying to make sure that we not only take care of now, but of the future as well. Excellent.
So just to confirm, all construction contracts have been executed and you're not expecting any further change orders?
Oh, no.
Don't say that.
I'm cautious. We have some pending cost change items, but as far as construction, we have some forecasted cost overruns, but we also have some shortfalls on costs. So we're hoping that those will all even out and we will have a wash. But there's always change orders and there's always the weather and unforeseen conditions. But I tell everybody, if you can finish a contract within 7% of the contract price with total change orders, you're okay. You finish within 5% of the original contract price with a change order, you're good. If you can finish within 3%, you're golden. And we're well within that 3 to 4% margin on all of our contracts.
And that's the industry standard.
Yes.
Okay, so in the CIP, it said our total expected cost is $132.4 million, so you believe we're within that range?
I believe we're going to be extremely close to that number.
All right.
Thank you.
Excellent work. Mayor, entertain a motion. Motion to approve
All right.
4J as presented. You saw me
Second.
questioning what that letter was.
Are you saying you need glasses?
No, I really did. You know what got me? I saw the J and then I saw the period. So I don't know why that just threw me off.
Motion carried.
Item 4K is approving a resolution with the caption reading, "Resolution directing publication of notice of intention to issue $27,180,000 in combination tax and surplus revenue certificates of obligation to provide funds for waterworks and sewer system improvements, specifically the water treatment plant expansion project, and resolving other matters relating to the subject."
Tracy? So tell me how that's different from 4J, other than it's only $27 million.
There's nothing different. This is the final funding for this project. And the project is under construction. And I believe is supposed to be completed by the end of 2026 or thereabouts.
All right, so now you want to hand it off to Mr. Dunsworth to brag about how close they are to finish?
No, I think I can answer that question. Yeah.
Okay, how close are we to finish, and what's our
I believe the projection date is the end of 2026.
Yeah.
end of 2026?
How awesome is that?
All right.
I had a couple of questions. So on this project, have all construction contracts been executed? Do we have any expected change orders?
We don't expect any, but
That's
there might be some.
Well,
do
there's
have the-
things we know now, and there's things in the future you don't know.
I do have our financial advisor in the audience if y'all do have any specific questions. I mean, our board,
I did have questions about that, but before we get to that, so in the CIP, this project is estimated to be 186 million. And well, in the latest version that I have with the details, it said we were expected to issue 9 million in this year, but 27 million in total for future debt. So was that part of the debt that was moved from historical into this year, and then this is the total of the 27 million?
this is the future debt that's
Okay.
listed in that.
So it just switched years, okay. But the 185 is still,
accurate.
okay. And then I actually meant to ask it on the other item about the interest rate, and do we have any idea about what that might be and what the term of the loan is going to be?
We don't get the interest rate until we get closer to closing,
Okay.
but I will let Dusty go ahead and address those questions.
Good evening, and again, just for the record, Dusty Trailer with RBC Capital Markets. We have the honor and privilege of representing the city of Pflugerville as municipal advisor. In terms of interest rate, reason you go to Texas Water Development Board is for their lower interest rates. They offer these loans at 30 and 35% less than current market bond rates. So if we were to expect to be able to go into the traditional capital markets and sell your bonds at, say, a 4.4% rate, we would expect these interest rates to be closer to the low end of 3%. Now, that's based on where we are today. All we're doing tonight is giving the notice that starts that 45-day clock. We're not expecting to issue till the end of January. Things can happen. But based on where we are today, we would expect these interest rates to be on the low end of the 3% range.
And if I recall, Dusty, one of the things that the Water Development Board has talked about is that we be one of their flagship entities in actually utilizing and leveraging these specific loans to make a demonstrable difference in our communities. Consequently, they've actually expanded the program to actually go ahead and try to do more work, and the legislature's actually put some more revenue inputs into that as well.
Certainly.
So I know that this saves a significant amount of money for our citizens for what we're doing. I know that it was interesting to see the Water Development Board. I don't necessarily thought they were going to go into this kind of business, but it makes a demonstrable difference, particularly here in Central Texas, where we have serious issues regarding water and wastewater and what we're actually able to do here to be able to provide these services.
I think it's also
So,
important
and
to point out.
dollars and cents wise, I would expect that this saves interest of about $320,000 per year to go this route versus going traditional financing.
That was my next question.
That's a good question.
More of a statement than a question. I think it's important to point out too that this is really basically us writing the last of the checks for these big projects that have been ongoing, or getting the funding for that. So it's already baked into the budget, already baked into our water and wastewater rates. Like none of this is changing anything that our residents would see in terms of finishing up these projects. I just wanted to point that out.
And that's a significant difference, particularly since we said the projects are still going to be timely, and we're looking at the end of 2026 to get this done.
Yeah.
And Mr. Trailer, based on your previous experience and your work that you've done for the city of Pflugerville, sure, I assume that you'll be alert to any anticipated rate changes and hold off or push forward depending on what you see in the variations in market conditions.
Certainly.
The Fed's cutting tomorrow. Make you feel better.
So that'll save us some money, right?
We're going to stay on top of it.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much.
Motion to approve 4K.
I did have a question for Tracy.
More? You said you only had a couple.
Is it possible to get a list of all of the expected debt issuances that making up the $316 million that was in the budget for the utility fund?
Yes, but I need a better question. I'm not quite following.
Oh,
what
I
you're-
sent the question in advance. I just want it's not necessarily related specifically to this, but the 53 million and the 27 million, I'm assuming, are part of that 316 million that was in the budget of new debt that we were going to issue. And I just wanted
Oh,
to
I
get
gotcha.
the whole list so I could see what else was going to
Is that
be.
over the 5-year period?
No, that was in just in fiscal 26. It was new debt in the budget and the utility capital project
So I
fund.
have a feeling a lot of that is debt we already have, so I can tie that out for you. Yes.
And
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah. It said it was new, but
Well, we are closing on the WIFIA. That's a huge chunk. It was like 176.
yeah. So I just
No.
like a reconciliation or a list of what's included in the budget
And-
so I know what else is coming to expect that coming forward.
And correct me if I'm wrong, Tracy, we have that when we were looking at the budget and having those other aspects, those things were denoted in certain fashions right there for us to go about.
No. The detail of the 316.
So we're creating work, so I want to make sure I understand, what is council asking us to do?
I'm not asking anything.
I'm asking for the what was in that the detail of what makes up that 316 million, like which projects add up to the 316 that was in the budget.
That sounds
Individual
like,
request.
what, one page? I mean,
No.
Is that maybe 2 pages to give us the detail of
And it
what's in that
shouldn't- I
316?
need to
300
go back
million?
and look, but it should only be a few issuances.
Okay,
Because we're not looking at issuing much more, we're just closing the WIFIA loan. And then we have in the budget book the certificate of obligation we plan to issue.
And that's what I was saying
That was the only thing that was left,
There
was
are-
the
yeah.
CO.
And so it's not like, that's why I was saying, I understand your point, but to her point, we've denoted that previously in there for that, I think you said the 316, and WIFIA is going to make up a significant portion of that, so it's only going to be a few items from there. So you want them aggregated, but the information is already listed.
No, I just wanted to know what are the expected debt issuances that make up the 316.
Well,
that
that's
was
what,
in the budget.
well,
Yeah.
disaggregate.
that is,
Okay.
well,
Like, we literally just give you 3 bullet points, say here's what they are? Is that
Yeah.
what we're doing?
Yeah, that could.
And you need that to make the
answer.
decision tonight?
No, I
No.
was just asking because it said that my questions were going to be discussed at the meeting.
If y'all want to. I mean, if that helps you make a decision,
No, I'm good.
okay. Okay.
I just want the information, just in general.
It'll help us going forward.
we have a motion in a second. Call to question.
Mayor Mateo.
Okay, motion carried.
All right.
Item 4L is approving a resolution approving the Fourth Amendment to the Carmel Development Agreement between the City of Pflugerville and Starlight Homes Texas LLC, Arroyo Cap 4-2, and LB Carmel LLC, authorizing amendments to the original agreement, authorizing consent to an additional approximately 14.629 acres situated in the John Lee Survey Number 18, Abstract Number 496, Travis County, Texas, into the Municipal Utility District Number 24, and approval of a strategic partnership agreement and authorizing the city manager to execute the same.
I thought you said criminal development agreement at first.
Again, this is a MUD question, and expanding a MUD district once it's already in place is a little bit unusual, so I'd like to have an explanation of the history of that and tell us why we're doing this.
I think you might have a council member in the audience who disagree with you being atypical, expanding a mud district while it exists ever. Just saying. Might be next to Councilmember Weiss.
So, do you want a reason we do amendments on our MUDs, or I'm sorry?
No,
What's
why
happening specifically?
this MUD
Okay.
is getting bigger, and what's the history of our relationship with this MUD?
I don't think you.
So the development agreement, hi, Robin Miga, I'm the development engineering director. I think most of you know me. This development agreement has been existing since 2015 for the overall. I have a timeline in here actually. So since 2015 is when it was originally adopted, and there have been a couple of amendments since then for various reasons.
Yes, there has.
Today, this is a proposal to amend to incorporate approximately 14 acres to add approximately 60 homes to that development. Starlight and et al., there's a couple more entities involved that acquired that land called the Pfluger Tract, and they are wishing to incorporate it into their overall. It'll be Carmel East Phase 5. You can go back to this exhibit. It shows you the delineation of that. That's actually the entire tract, which is almost 40 acres, but only 14 of that is proposed for inclusion into the Carmel 24 DA.
Is that over by the old Pfluger Cemetery?
I apologize, I don't know where that is.
across
It is, it
Yes.
is, it is.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yes. That we had to make sure we built around whenever we're doing
Yeah.
1849 Park.
Yeah.
So I'll give you the history.
All right.
Since I'm here for that. Many years ago, can you go back to the timeline, please? Thank you.
In the late Jurassic era?
The owner of the property, Mr. Lloyd, came to us and wanted to actually develop a specific land. In fact, he wanted to have the entirety of the whole thing in Pflugerville. He made a presentation to council. I'm guessing it had to be. I'm guessing that was about one of the most combative presentations we've had. I guess it was probably February 2018, where in fact there were some demands being made. We didn't necessarily appreciate the demands. You see Doug laughing in the audience, and,
I can't see.
and so we agreed to disagree, and that property was not going to be in the city. Fast forward, in developing with the county, that developer found that it was much harder to develop with the county than it is to develop with the city, and was trying to seek ways to actually go ahead and work with us to actually develop more of that land and more of that property in the city. Move forward, as you see right there, we came to an agreement, and now we're doing an amendment because there would like to be an expansion of that area for that as well. If he had it his way, the entirety of Carmel would be in Pflugerville. You probably should be nicer to city council when you give presentations, and maybe that would be the case now. But this right now right here is an amendment to allow for more Carmel to be actually in the city. That's why you have the amendment. This is why this was in the city. And honestly, I think it's a good thing because after going to that lift station that we have out there, from there, I think that it's better for us to have more control and access in that area, particularly with what we were doing with Jesse Bowles and all the development out there.
And I would highlight that landowner you guys are speaking of is not an owner of this property any longer. And so this agreement is actually with through parties that are not Mr. Lloyd.
There we go.
Wait, I'm sorry. I guess when I read the packet, this is being annexed?
This is being incorporated into the MUD district. This is actually the ETJ MUD and not the city MUD. So there is a city portion, which is over along Pleasanton.
Okay.
That Carmel is in the city limits. And then what he said is accurate, and then 24. So there's MUD 23, MUD 24. So MUD 24 is what we're talking about. That's an ETJ MUD.
So when you drive out there,
Okay, that's what I
You gotta look
didn't
at
think
the
it was
sign to see
being
which one is
annexed
which.
into the city. It
So
was just being
there is a spot.
annexed into the mud.
yes.
Yes.
So
Which
these
law?
14 acres are entirely in the ETJ.
Yes, and there is an opportunity through the agreement for the remainder, the difference between the 14 and the 38, to come into the city
Come
should
into
the
the
city
city.
wish to. Annex that property because it is subject to one of those Chapter 43 agreements that was allowed at the time whenever we did unilateral annexation. So there is an opportunity that this agreement allows us to go ahead and move forward with the rest of that annexation if we chose to do so. Most of it's floodplain. There is some for Melbourne Lane that's being dedicated through this agreement because there is a bridge that's required through that area. The last amendment, 2 amendments ago, incorporated a payment that was made by the Carmel development for the construction of that bridge. And then this agreement is further adding money to that pool, which is 1.5 million and some change. And that will contribute to that bridge.
And let's not just gloss over that bridge. We had a lot of issues out there before that bridge was there. Significant, serious issues. People being stuck out there, literally, before we actually got that bridge out there from that as well. That was a big deal back in the day.
So part of this is an in-city mud, part of it is an out-of-city mud?
I'm
or
only
they're
talking
two
about an
separate
out-of-city
muds?
mud. They're two separate muds, and I am not talking about the in-city one at all. I'm only talking about 24, which is all ETJ.
All right, is there a possibility that the ETJ mud could become an in-city mud if we annex that area, or is it not eligible for in-city mud status?
There is a strategic partnership agreement that is associated with this agreement. So in 30 years, the city would have the option to annex into the city. There are requirements for how bond issuances would take place so that the city wouldn't be taking on all of the debt of the mud.
Yep.
The city, after 15 years, the city is required to approve any new bond issuances. So it kind of helps, wean that amount down.
Now, is that after 15 years from today, or 15 years from the date of the original adoption, or?
It would be from the execution of the consent agreement, I believe. The applicant is here. He might-
And that was in
It's the very
2019?
first bond issuance, 15 years from the first bond.
First bond issuance.
So when was the first bond issuance?
It
We
hasn't.
expect that to be sometime in
Luke,
2027.
can you please come up here?
We have no idea who you are.
This is Luke.
Come on
He's
up,
with
introduce
Starlight
yourself,
Homes.
tell us
I'm
about it.
trying to wave him up.
I'm not John Lloyd. My name is Luke Allen. I work with Ashton Woods Homes, and I'm here representing them. So the agreement provides a restriction for when we can issue bonds, and it's 15 years from the date that we issue our first bond. We expect to issue that bond in 2027, so 15 years after that.
Okay, so 2042. Any bonds you issue after 2042 would require city approval?
Specific city approval. Yes,
So
sir.
that kicks off the clock.
Yes, sir.
There we go.
And
Okay.
so this development is going to have, or is it all one HOA? So part of the development is in the city and part of it is out of the city? Or
What
are
we're
they
working
separate?
with, our development is all outside
All
of the
outside
city,
the city.
and will be part of a single HOA that we've created.
Okay, so it's just adjacent to the existing Carmel, but it's going to be a separate
Yes,
neighborhood
ma'am.
from that.
And let's be clear.
There are two Carmels. We
Yes.
are not talking about the city one at all. So
Right.
this is Med 24 in the ETJ Carmel
And,
East.
and let's be
Carmel.
clear.
Okay,
When
Carmel
the
East.
people live there and they try to go to vote, they're going to be just as confused as when they go out there from that as well.
Isn't part of Carmel East in the city, or is it entirely ETJ?
No, sir. They're all ETJ and Carmel East. Carmel West is full-purpose city limits.
Carmel West is entirely in the city.
Yes, sir.
It's got the blue signs.
Yep.
All right,
Mayor, would you entertain a motion? Motion approved 4L as in lizard as presented.
As in Lloyd, have a motion and a second.
Thank you, Mayor and Council.
Excellent presentation, by the way, and good timeline.
What parts
You're
of the
much
city
nicer to
again?
him than I am.
Oh, we have one more.
Okay, motion carried.
Mayor, we have an open item on 5C.
Councilman Rogers, would you
Right,
like
yeah.
to make that motion?
so do we need to executive session real quick?
No,
Or do we
no.
do it all in open session?
Nuh-uh.
All right.
Yeah.
So, on 5C, having gone through the very excellent memo from our city attorney, I would like to publish that memo and waive attorney-client privilege for that purpose.
For the limited purposes of the specific memo?
Just the memo, none of the discussions or anything else about it, just the memo itself, so that we can explain to our constituents what we are bound by, but in both state and federal law regarding our ADA compliance and construction of street corners.
Second.
Oh, wait, I think Trista needs clarification on how you're going to word
Yes,
that.
if I can get that motion in a single statement. I'm not
What?
sure I know what the
Move
motion's for.
to waive attorney-client privilege as to the memo that was presented in executive session regarding ADA compliance.
Item 5C.
Yeah, that's fine. That's clear enough.
5C, right?
Yeah.
And then, Mr. Matera, you seconded?
Yes.
Thank you.
That very interesting worded We got there, James. It does the job.
Rudy approved the long version.
Yeah.
What did he say,
What he said.
950?
Okay, motion carried. Thank you.
I would have said, motion to approve the minutes.
We are adjourned.